most of my work has been life-size public commissions. Previously, my statement was a very strong political one. Post-varsity and working in London. Then the public commissions, and I am so thrilled to be part of Knysna Fine Arts' beautiful, sunny gallery, magnificent space, where I'm able to translate my new statement, which is centered around perhaps the two big things that have happened to me recently in the last 5 years. Firstly, we moved down to this beautiful garden route paradise. And secondly, that I have grandchildren. And being in touch with these beautiful little children has reminded me so of being that child myself. I, in my youth, was a swimmer and a diver, so I've always had a very strong relationship with my body and am conscious of physical attributes. And that is why I think my statement has always been figurative. It is a visual language we all understand, but the joy now, rather than in my mature figure, which I perhaps has used as a benchmark, I am in contact with these darling, developing forms. And that is what I am loving capturing, the memory and the actuality of their consciousness, their new consciousness of this world around them, where we live in the mountains and on this beach, enjoying this new atmosphere, beautiful spaces, low horizon lines. So besides the figures themselves, I try to place them where one is conscious of their sense of place. They are on the beach, or they are in the landscape. They're not just sculptures on a plinth. I grew up in a family of girls, and we always made our own clothes. We lived pretty far out of towns and had to be pretty self-sufficient. And what I'm trying to bring is something that I worked with in my ceramic statement in London, but the use of cloth and texture and what little children wear. I revel in the beauty of their figures in little bathing suits. Hats are terribly important. The attitude that comes across from a face peering out of a hat with excitement and astonishment, or blown in the wind, experiencing their immediate surroundings with wonder, bewilderment, excitement, exuberance, whatever it is. There's just a never-ending library of investigation that I am experiencing with this new body of work. I've always chosen to work plastically as a sculptor, mainly working with clay, but recently have discovered the joy and the ease of wax. It's so portable, you don't have to worry about it constantly having to be kept wet. And so these sculptures are 50 centimeters high. They're tabletop really, which is something I experienced in my London days. Sculpture was never very big there. Spaces were quite confined. But somehow the scale really suits the intention here. And they're cast in bronze, a laborious Renaissance technique, but I'm loving all of that. Every process brings along new challenges, whether it's translating from the mold into wax, and then from the wax into bronze, fettling the bronze, making sure that your mark from the original is copied well. And then comes patina. Patination is a huge part of the final intent and expression. For instance, she has a slight verdigris patina compared to the little boy on the right, who is called Karoo Boy, and somehow needed to be grounded in that lovely, rich mahogany patina. Intomisana is quite golden, which suits her tutu. So enjoyed the spoof around Degas' ballerina. I love the fact that she is definitely a little African girl, but she could be part of the orangerie as well, with Degas' lovely little girl. My figures have always had a strong classical feel. My education during the 60s was not an academic one. We were very grounded in postmodernism and abstractionism, pop art. So academic lessons around anatomy, etc., is not what I was lucky enough to experience. But as I said, having been a diver, I somehow have felt my way around figures. And the reason I work realistically, or rather naturalistically, is because I find it such a challenge. First of all, it's really important to capture the essence of expression on little faces and attitude in much the same way as the Impressionists. Berthe Morisot talked about children very delicately, vulnerably, with her technique. Mary Cassatt brought humor into her expressions, and I'm thinking of the last person I've been quite influenced by. Oh, James Singer Sargent, with his beautifully manicured classical poses of children in quite luxurious settings. So all of that, I think, has had a deep impression on me, and I'm hugely challenged by an atelier response to the figure. In other words, producing it as naturalistically as possible, in much the same way as the classicists did, although hopefully bringing more of a neoclassicism in the ordinary day approach to my situation with these little souls.